Tovar looked cool as a cucumber as the other patrons at Bierman's Bar in St. Louis followed the robbers' orders and hit the deck.
Tovar looked cool as a cucumber as the other patrons at Bierman's Bar in St. Louis followed the robbers' orders and hit the deck. All right, so once again, Bierman's, that's a proper noun. St. Louis, that I think everybody heard it, but the spelling, we had lots of different spellings. So those two, no problem. Cucumber, patrons, yeah, that's not too bad. A lot of people missed this. There's even a question about that, but he does say ED. I'll explain in a second. Let's go back here. Puts the barrel, that S. Rib cage, many of you spelt it as two words. We can actually spell it as one word. Tovar looked cool as a cucumber. This is a good expression. Yeah, it's a good expression. It's an idiom, obviously, cool as a cucumber, and it's in your glossary. We'll talk about that in the explanation video. Let's go ahead and listen to that.
Tovar looked cool as a cucumber.
Looked, get that T, right? Looked cool as a cucumber. Listen carefully.
Tovar looked cool as a cucumber as Tovar looked cool as a cucumber as the other patrons at Bierman's Bar and the other patrons at Bierman's as the other patrons at Bierman's Bar
as the other patrons, good word, customers, patrons at Bierman's Bar. Yeah, I love the name because it sounds like Bierman's. Yeah, it does, but this is how you spell it. And I know many of you Googled it. That's totally fine. That's not cheating. If you Googled the YouTube video and then looked at the subtitles, I don't know what they'd tell you, but that would be cheating. But don't do that. Patrons at Bierman's Bar. And by the way, this is a big B. This is actually a small b. Shouldn't it be a big B? So here's a question. If for the people that Googled it, why is this a small b? Why is it not a big B? For the people that Googled it, you should be able to give me the answer.
As the other patrons at Bierman's Bar in St. Louis.
St. Louis, if you add an E, it's St. Louise. So it's not St. Louise, it's St. Louis. And in America, we don't spell it. We don't say S-A-I-N-T. We just say S-T period. St. Louis, St. Louis.
As the other patrons at Bierman's Bar in St. Louis followed the robbers' orders and
So, followed the robbers. What's going on here? Why is this ED so difficult to hear? Yes, the 20-80 rule, the Pareto principle. When we have similar sounds next to each other, we put them together. Does this D disappear? No. Normally, I like to say 20% D because the D and the TH become one sound. Okay, the D and the TH become one sound meaning 100%. But the way it kind of splits, there's no cancellation. It's 20% D and 80% TH. Now, that's in a perfect situation, and we can hear that. This is what it sounds like. Followed. Hear that vibration? That's the D. That's all we need. Followed the. That would be a 20-80, in my opinion. Perfect blending. Okay, it's one sound, but you can hear them both. Followed the. Okay, but I also have told you in the 20-80 rule, this can go 1% to 99%, meaning only 1% D, 99% TH. That's going to be tougher because this TH is a vibrated sound, so it's going to be tiny, very tiny to hear. But absolutely it's there. Followed the. Also, with the DTH combination, TTH combination too, let me show you something that frequently happens. So these are your upper teeth, and these are your lower teeth, right? And this is your tongue. Now, when you do the D or the T, your tongue is going to be touching right here, right? That's the DT, right? D-T. Your tongue is touching the alveolar ridge. When you do the TH, your tongue is going to be between the teeth, right? Now, interesting thing that happens especially with the DTH and TTH combination, is our tongue is actually like this, which allows us to do that touch, not with the tip of the tongue, but actually like a centimeter back, a little bit further back. We do that touch, and the tongue is already almost instantly ready for the TH. We're touching here. Now, normally with the TH, we're not touching. We are not touching for a TH. But in this combination, if I stop myself right here, followed, yeah, my tongue is filled up in this area because I'm doing the stop D and my tongue is ready for the TH. Like I said, when we have this combination, the 20/80 rule, there's no cancellation. It'll drop to 199 many times, but there's no cancellation. So if you didn't hear it, that's okay. It's almost impossible to hear, but absolutely it's there. There's no question it's there. It's there. Followed the robber's orders and hit the deck. I thought this would be really difficult, but most of you got it. Great job. Hit the deck. It's in your glossary, and we'll talk about it in the explanation video.
Follow the robber's orders and hit the deck. Follow the robber's orders and follow the robber's orders and follow the robber's orders. And
I would say it's 595 because to me the D is clear. 5% D, 95% TH.
Follow the robber's order. Follow the robber's order. Follow the robber's order. Follow the robber's orders and hit the deck.
Tovar looked cool as a cucumber. It's just an expression. And I looked at the origin of the expression. It actually has nothing to do with temperature. So I just know that it's like 300 years old. Yeah, 300 years old. 300-year-old expression. It started in a poem, and it just means unaffected. Unaffected. Okay, that's what it means. Tovar looked cool as a cucumber as the other patrons at Bierman's Bar, and this is actually how you spell it, Bierman's Bar in St. Louis, followed the robber's orders, listened to what the robber said, and hit the deck. Hit the deck means get on the floor. Okay, this actually comes from a long time ago, too. It's an old expression from ship riding. And the idea to hit the deck is if you're on a ship and there's a big storm, it's dangerous. You could fall overboard, so you hit the deck, you get down. That's the idea. We can use it in the military when there are bombs coming in and you have to get down, get low, hit the deck, okay? So it's a good expression. Hit the deck, get down, okay? Let's say Mikey and Jimmy are stealing cookies and Mom is coming into the kitchen. Mikey, actually probably Jimmy, would say to Mikey, hit the deck. And then they would both get down to try and hide to avoid Mom. So it's a good expression. So once again, we see everybody here has hit the deck, but here he is lighting a cigarette. Cool as a cucumber. Wow. So a couple of things here. Well, just one. I asked you, why is it a small b? And the reason is because the name of this bar is actually Bierman's Tavern. That's the name. And I Googled it to look for it because I wondered, because it matters. So a tavern is another name for bar. It's the same thing, okay? So in this case, because it's not the actual name, it's just we're using this as an adjective to describe this noun. So it's a small b. So Bierman's Bar in St. Louis, Missouri. It's a big city.
Tovar looked cool as a cucumber as the other patrons at Bierman's Bar in St. Louis followed the robber's orders and hit the deck. Tovar looked cool as a cucumber as the other patrons at Bierman's Bar in St. Louis followed the robber's orders and hit the deck.